You didn't find this message by accident. Something in your spirit brought you here. Something quiet but powerful. Something that has been circling around you for days. Maybe you've been praying for something with all your heart. Maybe you've been holding a deep desire in silence. Or maybe you've been hoping for a sign that your prayer is not forgotten. And now, here it is, reaching you at the exact moment your energy is finally open enough to receive it. Take a breath and pay attention to what you feel in your chest right now. That warmth, that small expansion, that sudden awareness, that is your spirit recognizing truth. Because long before a prayer is answered in the physical world, it is answered in the energetic one. The shift begins inside you. The confirmation arrives in your intuition. And this moment, this message is part of that confirmation. Think about how often you've thought about your prayer lately. The way it comes back into your mind out of nowhere. The way your heart aches with longing sometimes. The nights where you whisper it quietly, hoping someone or something hears you. The moments you tried to distract yourself, but felt the same desire resurface. That wasn't random. That was resonance. Every sincere prayer vibrates through your energy field until it aligns with the moment it can enter your life. Maybe you've been feeling emotional lately. Sudden waves of hope, sadness, relief, or confusion. Maybe your sleep has been different. Maybe you've been more sensitive than usual. These are signs that your prayer is getting closer. When a blessing approaches, the energy around you begins to change. Old emotions rise to be released. Old fears surface to be dissolved. Old limits crumble so new space can open. What you've been feeling wasn't chaos. It was preparation. There have been moments, small ones, brief ones, where something inside you whispered, "It's coming." You might have ignored it. You might have doubted it. You might have told yourself it was just wishful thinking, but it wasn't. It was intuition. It was alignment. It was the echoes of your answered prayer making their way into your awareness. And tonight, right now, that alignment is stronger than ever. The angels say your prayer has already been heard. Not just heard, acknowledged, held, carried, answered energetically before your eyes ever see the physical result. But here is the truth most people don't realize. A prayer doesn't arrive when you want it. It arrives when you are aligned with it. When your energy matches the frequency of what you're asking for. When your heart is open enough to hold it. That is the stage you are entering now. You may have felt lost at times. You may have questioned why things weren't moving. You may have wondered if your prayer was too big, too late, or too impossible. But those doubts weren't signs of failure. They were part of your energetic clearing. Every fear you felt was something being removed. Every tear you shed was space being made. Every moment you felt close to giving up was a moment your soul grew stronger. Because a prayer doesn't arrive through force. It arrives through alignment, through openness, through readiness. And whether you realize it or not, you have been getting ready. Look back at the last few weeks. Notice how your perspective shifted. Notice how you became more aware of what truly matters. Notice how your heart peeled back layers you didn't even know were blocking you. Notice how you began to quietly release things, habits, expectations, attachments that were weighing down your spirit. That wasn't coincidence. That was preparation. That was your soul creating room for the blessing approaching you now. There is something you asked for, perhaps silently, perhaps desperately, that is already on its way. The angels don't reveal timing, but they reveal movement. And right now, your entire energetic field is in a state of movement. Things are shifting, doors are aligning, paths are clearing. The blessing you've prayed for is no longer distant. It's in motion. You may feel a strange sense of calm right now, or an unexpected rush of emotion, or a warmth around your chest or stomach. These sensations are not random. They are responses to the truth you are reading. When your energy meets the frequency of your prayer, your body reacts. It's happening right now. That softness you feel, that relief brushing against your spirit, that is alignment forming. And deep inside you, deeper than thought, deeper than fear, there is a knowing awakening. A knowing that says, my prayer is coming. That inner knowing is the most powerful sign of all. Because when the soul recognizes what is approaching, it begins preparing you emotionally, mentally, spiritually. You've felt that preparation. Even in your hardest days, something in you refused to fully let go of this desire. That wasn't stubbornness. That was destiny. The angels say, what you've been praying for is already moving toward you. Feel those words in your chest. Let them sink in. Your longing wasn't ignored. Your silence wasn't overlooked. Your tears weren't wasted. Everything you poured into that prayer, every emotion, every hope, every breath, was felt. And now, something is being brought into alignment for you. You don't need to know how. You don't need to know when. All you need is openness, because a prayer can't enter a closed heart. And right now, your heart is opening. Slowly, gently, beautifully. You've started trusting again, even if only a little. You've started hoping again, even if timidly. You've started imagining a better outcome, even if quietly. That is what creates the pathway. That is what forms the doorway. That is what pulls your answered prayer toward you. Not forcing, not worrying, not begging, but opening. And right now, your energy is opening wider than it has in a long time. If you feel a pull in your chest, if you feel emotion rising, if you feel a warmth building within you, that is the sign. That is your spirit saying, I am ready to receive. And the moment your spirit says that, the universe listens. So breathe. Feel your heart soften. Feel your energy shift. Feel the truth of this moment. Your prayer is not just being answered, it is approaching. And this is the moment you begin to receive it. Now that the shift within you has begun, you may start noticing subtle changes in the way you think, feel, and move through your days. These changes aren't random. They read the early signs that your prayer is aligning with your energy, that the blessing you've been calling in is moving closer than ever before. When a prayer begins to approach, the first place it touches is not your reality, but your inner world. You might have felt this already, a sudden calm after days of heaviness, an unexpected sense of hope that appears without any logical reason, or a quiet awareness that something is shifting around you. These aren't coincidences. They're confirmations. Your spirit can sense what your mind doesn't yet understand. Think back to the moments recently when your heart felt warmer, even if just for a second. Or the times when you almost cried without knowing why. Or the nights where you fell asleep, feeling both exhausted and strangely comforted. Those were not emotional swings. They were energetic recalibrations. When a prayer is close, the heart begins to prepare itself to hold the blessing. This preparation can feel intense. Sometimes it feels like chaos. Sometimes it feels like peace. Sometimes it feels like both at once. That's because old energy rises to be released, while new energy falls into place. You are not breaking down. You are clearing space. You may have also noticed that your sensitivity is increasing. You're picking up emotions more deeply. You're sensing meanings behind words more clearly. You're feeling more connected to your intuition. This heightened sensitivity is not a weakness. It's a sign of spiritual alignment. Your inner world becomes more receptive when a blessing is near. Pay attention to the ways your heart has been communicating with you. Maybe you felt a pull toward certain thoughts, memories, or desires. Maybe you felt guided to revisit something you once wanted. Maybe you felt an unexplainable desire to let go of certain things or people. These feelings are adjustments, your soul shifting into the version of you who can receive the prayer. A prayer does not arrive into who you were. It arrives into who you are becoming. And you've been becoming someone new, someone softer, someone wiser, someone more open, someone more grounded, someone more ready. You may also notice synchronicities around you, seeing repeating numbers, hearing certain phrases on repeat, running into reminders of your desire everywhere you go, having dreams that feel symbolic, familiar, or strangely aligned with your prayer. These signs appear when the energetic threads of your prayer start weaving into your reality. They are hints that the universe is adjusting the world around you, preparing the timeline, rearranging paths, aligning circumstances. Sometimes these synchronicities appear as coincidences that feel too precise. Maybe someone mentions exactly what you prayed for. Maybe you read something that answers a question you've been wrestling with. Maybe a song lyric feels like it was meant for you. These are not small things. These are messages, tiny indicators that your prayer is getting ready to manifest. But before a blessing arrives, the soul goes through an emotional softening. You felt this softening recently. A gentle loosening of your defenses. A quiet willingness to hope again. A softening of the fear that once held you back. This emotional opening is sacred. It means your heart is stepping into receiving mode. Receiving isn't passive. It's active alignment. It's choosing to believe again. It's allowing yourself to expect goodness. It's opening the door instead of waiting behind it. And you've been doing exactly that, even on the days you doubted yourself. Look at the moments recently where you surprised yourself. Moments when you reacted differently than you would have months ago. Moments when you forgave faster, trusted deeper, or let go more easily. These small shifts are not mistakes. They are signs that your energy is maturing. You are becoming someone who can hold the blessing you've been praying for. Sometimes blessings are delayed not because you're unworthy, but because your energy isn't ready yet. You wouldn't plant a seed and expect it to bloom in frozen soil. You warm the earth first. Your spirit has been warming, softening, opening, healing, and now the soil of your heart is fertile. That's why this message feels different. That's why your body is responding to these words. That's why you feel something moving within you. A pull, a warmth, a recognition. Your prayer is entering your energetic field. It's not just a thought anymore. It's a presence. And with that presence comes emotion. Emotion you don't always understand. Emotion that rises suddenly. Emotion that feels both heavy and light. This is because blessings touch the heart long before they touch the hands. You may also find yourself thinking about your prayer with less desperation and more faith. The longing is still there, but it's softer now. Hope feels calmer. Your trust feels deeper. This shift is important. When you move from desperation to trust, from fear to surrender, from grasping to allowing, that is when blessings manifest. You're stepping into that state now. There is something in you that knows, truly knows, that you are not alone in this process. You are guided. You are accompanied. You are supported. You are seen. And every emotion you felt recently has been part of the divine preparation. The angels have been working behind the scenes, clearing obstacles you didn't know existed, aligning opportunities you haven't even glimpsed yet, and strengthening you in ways you'll only understand in hindsight. You may not see the full picture yet, but you can feel it. The energy around your prayer is alive. It's moving. It's shifting. It's responding to your openness. This is the stage where the universe tests not your strength, but your readiness. And you are showing that you are ready, not through perfection, but through willingness, through feeling, through faith, through showing up to this moment. Take a breath now and feel your heart. Feel the quiet expansion. Feel the gentle pull toward possibility. Feel the truth settling in your spirit. Your prayer isn't approaching someday. It's approaching now. And this alignment, this shift, this emotional awakening is proof that you're closer than ever before. As your energy continues to shift, you may start noticing something new emerging inside you. A quiet strength, a subtle confidence, a deeper connection to your own inner truth. This is not accidental. This is what happens when a prayer moves from hope into alignment. Something inside you begins to awaken. Something clearer, something wiser, something that senses the nearness of what you've been asking for. Pay attention to the gentle changes in your emotional landscape. The moments where you respond with more patience instead of panic. The moments where you forgive faster, breathe deeper, or trust longer. The moments where life still feels uncertain, but you no longer crumble under that uncertainty. These are not small changes. These are signs of spiritual maturity, the maturity required to hold an answered prayer. Because blessings aren't only about receiving. They are about becoming. You are becoming someone who can carry what you've prayed for without fear, without sabotage, without shrinking. This becoming may have felt uncomfortable at times. Growth often does. Your old self resisted it. Your old patterns clung tightly. Your old fears whispered that nothing was changing. But despite all that, you kept moving. You kept praying. You kept hoping. And that persistence shaped something powerful in you. Look at the recent weeks of your life. Notice how life placed you in situations that quietly stretched you, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Moments that felt like obstacles were actually training. Times you felt alone were actually strengthening. The tears you cried weren't signs of weakness. They were signs of release. Everything you went through was preparing you for the moment your prayer enters your reality. And that moment is closer than ever. There is something inside you now that you didn't have before. A deeper knowing. A knowing that whispers not from your mind, but from your chest. When you think about your prayer, your body reacts, not with desperation, but with recognition. Your energy knows what is coming, even before the physical world shows evidence. You can sense the shift. You can feel the nearness. You can intuitively tell that something has already moved in your favor. That's not imagination. That's alignment. When a blessing enters your energy field, the first sign is emotional. You feel lighter, more hopeful, more open. Then you begin noticing signs, then synchronicities, then sudden clarity, and unexpected opportunities. You're already in the early stages of this sequence. Think about the signs you've been seeing lately, even the subtle ones, even the ones you tried to brush off. Maybe you've seen repeating numbers -111, 222, 444, 1010. Maybe you've overheard conversations that spoke directly to your heart. Maybe a memory resurfaced out of nowhere, bringing healing with it. Maybe someone said something that felt strangely aligned with your prayer. These aren't coincidences. They're communications. The universe uses symbolism to guide you, and your openness allows you to receive these messages more clearly than before. In the past, you might have doubted signs. Now you're starting to accept them. This shift in perception is important. It shows that your mind is no longer resisting what your soul already knows. When mind and soul agree, manifestation becomes inevitable. But here is something many people never realize. A prayer often arrives the moment the heart drops its resistance to receiving it, and your resistance has been dissolving. Slowly, gently, steadily. You're beginning to feel worthy of what you've been asking for. You're beginning to trust that good things can happen for you. You're beginning to believe that your prayer is not too big. You're beginning to see that you are not asking for something impossible. You're asking for something aligned with your soul's path. Your worthiness is no longer a question, it's a realization. This is one of the biggest energetic shifts you've experienced. For so long you prayed with uncertainty, with fear, with doubt. You asked for something while secretly believing you might not deserve it or might not receive it. But look at yourself now. Look at how your heart has changed. Look at how your spirit has opened. You are no longer begging for your blessing. You are preparing for it. That shift changes everything. And you may have noticed a new pattern emerging. The things that truly matter feel closer. The things that drain you feel distant. Your intuition is louder. Your fears are quieter. This is what alignment feels like. Sometimes the universe rearranges your emotional world before it rearranges your external world. Sometimes you feel the blessing before you see it. Sometimes your heart recognizes the answered prayer while your eyes still see nothing. But the spiritual truth always arrives before the physical evidence. Trust that truth. You've also likely experienced something else, moments where you felt unusually guided. Maybe you were thinking about your prayer and immediately stumbled upon a message that spoke to it. Maybe you felt urged to release something, rest, or reflect without understanding why. Maybe you felt watched over in a comforting way. These nudges were not random. They were spiritual guidance gently steering you into a receiving posture. You may not have realized it in the moment, but the angels have been beside you throughout this entire journey, protecting your heart, strengthening your spirit, softening your doubts, preparing your path. They've been removing hidden obstacles, aligning the right circumstances, and illuminating the next steps in subtle ways. Your job was only to stay open, and you did, even on your hardest days, even when you thought nothing was changing, even when your heart felt tired, even when you thought your prayer was forgotten. You stayed open, even just a little, and that was enough. It's your openness that has brought you here. It's your readiness that is pulling your blessing closer. It's your persistence that has created the opening your prayer needed. And now, your heart is entering the final phase of alignment, the phase where you begin to feel as though your blessing is already yours. The phase where gratitude rises before the manifestation arrives. The phase where surrender turns into certainty. Pay attention to the sensations inside you right now. The calm, the warmth, the expansion, the quiet recognition. Your soul knows what is coming. Your spirit feels it drawing nearer. Your energy is already matching its frequency. Take one more deep breath and whisper within yourself, "My answered prayer is approaching," because it is.